Hello, friends, and welcome to our story time. We're going to start with our song, and then we have a wonderful story, and then our prayer at the end. So I'm glad that you have joined me. So let's turn to Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus in the morning, Jesus in the noontime. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus when the sun goes down. Love him, love him, love him in the morning, love him in the noontime. Love him, love him, love him when the sun goes down. Serve him, serve him, serve him in the morning, serve him in the noontime. Serve him, serve him, serve him when the sun goes down. So we remember, my friends, that Jesus is always with us, especially when we get up in the morning and are excited to have a new day. Hopefully, we'll have more spring-like weather this coming week. The warm sunshine. You can hear the birds singing early in the morning, and pretty soon we'll see daffodils and crocuses and tulips, spring flowers. So during the Easter season, as all of nature wakes up from the sleep of winter, we thank God for new life. And Jesus is with us at lunchtime, and Jesus is with us when we put our head on our pillow at the end of the day, asking Jesus to bless our moms and dads, our brothers and sisters, our families, our friends. And so let's remember that Jesus keeps his promise to be with us always. Our story for today is Amazing Grace by Mary Hoffman, and the pictures are by Carolyn Binch. So Amazing Grace. So let's listen together. I'll try to show the pictures at first, and then I'll read to you, okay? So you can see the pictures. There's Amazing Grace, and I believe this is her Nana or grandma. Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her or told to her or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were in books or movies or out of Nana's loving memory. Grace just loved stories. After she had heard them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out, and she always gave herself the most exciting part. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc. Here's Joan of Arc. In the Middle Ages, Joan of Arc, a French girl who fought in battles for Jesus and for the gospel. Grace wove a wicked web as Anansi, the spider. She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy. Grace went exploring for the lost kingdoms. She sailed the 7 seas with a peg leg and a parrot. She was Hiawatha, sitting by the shining big sea water, and Mowgli in the backyard jungle. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat, and found a city with streets paved in gold. Or she was Aladdin rubbing his magic lamp to make the genie appear. Sometimes all she could get Ma and Nana to join in when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. One day, Grace's teacher said they would do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be. When she raised her hand, Raj said, "You can't be Peter. That's a boy's name." But Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter Pan," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan, so we'll have auditions next week to choose parts." She gave them words to learn. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" asked Mom. "Raj said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl." "That just shows what Raj knows," said Ma. "A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to." Grace cheered up. Then later she remembered something else. "Natalie says I can't be Peter because I'm black," she said. Ma looked angry, but before she could speak, Nana said, "It seems that Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it." One Saturday, Nana told Grace they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read, "Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet," in sparkling lights. "Are we going to the ballet?" Nana asked Grace. "We are, honey, but first I want you to look at this picture." Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer, it said, "Stunning New Juliet." "That one is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad," said Nana. "Her granny and me, we grew up together on the island. She's always asking me, do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance? So this time I said yes." After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet, dancing around her room in her imaginary tutu. "I can be anything I want," she thought. On Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who was best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Roz to be Captain Cook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. "You were fantastic," whispered Natalie. The play was a big success, and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, I feel as if I could fly all the way home. You probably could, said Ma. Yes, said Nana. If Grace put her mind to it, she can do anything she wants. The end. So our story, Amazing Grace. I want each of you, children, to say this. I am amazing. Each one of you is amazing. And your moms and dads and your grandpas and grandpas are amazed by all that you already do in your young lives. And we are excited to begin to imagine how you will be as a teenager, as maybe in college. How will you grow up? What will you become? But we know that you are amazing. And why do we know that? Because God has created you, each one of you, in God's image and likeness. You are amazing. And so I think you need to say that again and again. A lot of times we talk about, and it's a harder concept for little ones, my little friends, but self-esteem, we need to believe in our goodness. We need to trust that the Lord has great plans for each one of you. Each one of you are special. Each one of you are unique. Each one of you are one in a million, one in a billion. Each one of you counts. Each one of you is loved, especially by Jesus. And Jesus's love is what makes each one of us, makes you, makes me, makes every person amazing. So let's remember this story of amazing grace. And I hope your moms and dads tell you today, even your grandparents, you are amazing. So let's finish with our prayer. So you would pray after me. Jesus, you will always be with us. Jesus, you will always love us. Jesus, help my family and me, especially my parents and grandparents, my brothers and sisters. Jesus, help all doctors and nurses and all people who take care of the sick. Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I love you so very much. Jesus, I love you so very much. Well, I hope you can join me again next week for story time. I look forward to a story time with you each time. And so between now and then, be good, okay? Be amazing.